Jilly.
Yeah, I just turned them on right now, so it might be a little too late, but I just turned them on. Marley, go and talk to them.
1, 2, 3. Hello, hello.
Yeah. Marley, we're not.
Hello, everybody. Welcome, Magic fans, and welcome to Magic Game Day number 2 of the season. Who's excited? I know I am. My name is Marley Arnold, and yeah, who's tuning in from Facebook, YouTube, X, Twitch, or TikTok? Comment down below which platform you're using today. But right now I am at the Kia Center and we are in the team shop, which is honestly my favorite space. Behind me we have the classic jerseys. How are we feeling about this, chat? Let's see. We got the black, the blue, and the white. Now, while I'm giving you some time to pick your favorite, make sure to hit that follow button. Whatever platform you're on, make sure you hit it. And after, comment down below which jersey you would pick. Honestly, I'm kind of feeling the blue. I feel like blue is just very Magic colors, and I think that's fire. Ooh, a lot of whites in the comments. Yes. Love that. If you guys had to make your own jersey, would you use like your real name or a nickname? What would you do? I think I would do a little nickname, probably Mar. But yeah, tonight we have a really fun game. We are Magic versus Hawks. Obviously, we are going to win. We won versus Miami. That was such a good game. Who was here for that? I was, and the energy was amazing. Nothing beats like the vibe of the first game. Let's look at some of these comments and see what's going on, guys. Yes, I'm super excited to hang out with you guys today too. We have a lot of fun stuff to check out. A lot of you guys are loving the black jersey. Shout out Will Dawson in the chat. Love to see it. Oh, a lot of you guys would use a funny nickname for the jersey. Yes. Love that. That is so cool. Maybe we should get some insight from the staff and see which jersey would be their favorite. Let's go see if we can find someone to pick. Chat, who should we talk to? Hi, I am live right now, and no, you're good. You want to talk to the chat?
I'd love to talk to the chat. What's up, Chad? Dub in the chat.
W's in the chat, guys. You heard it. So we have been talking about the jerseys.
Okay.
You know, like if you had to make one, what would you put on it? A nickname? A lot of people are saying like a funny nickname. What would you do?
What would I do? Probably Magic and 4. That's
love,
a lot of letters, but,
love.
You know, so
yeah.
we do it.
Which color would you pick?
I would have to say I'd go for the black one probably.
Yeah.
That's a classic.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
definitely touches like on like the older generation with the Shaq and Penny, and then you know they're beautiful. I think that's a fan favorite out here.
Love that. Thank you for the insight.
No
Super
worries.
cool. Guys, who's rocking with him? Who likes the black one? It is very, very fresh, but I'm still that classic blue. These are iconic. Literally iconic, guys. If I had to get one, I would probably get one of these. Yeah, you guys would too? Yep. Ooh, someone wouldn't even put their name. They would just still use the Magic player's name. Classic. I love that, and I think that's super cool, and it is rocking with the Magic vibes. Yes. Oh, you guys are excited for the game tonight? Me too. It is gonna be amazing. Is anybody coming to the game tonight? Okay, we're gonna take a little walk chat, guys. Guys, who's ready for game day? Who's coming? I know I am super excited for today. And oh, we got some people in the chat saying that they will be here. Super, super cool. All right, all right. Let's see, chat. We're just gonna take a little walk over here. Everybody's coming in and getting ready for the game. The energy is already very exciting and it's still pretty early. We're just gonna squeeze through. All right. Let's keep walking this way, chat, and maybe we can find someone who wants to play a little game. If not, guys, I have some games that I can play with the chat because, I don't know, I've just been in a game mood recently when it comes to like Magic games. So while we're walking, maybe we should play one. What do you guys think about that? Yeah? Yeah? Okay, let's do it. So this game I made up and it is called Guess That Player. Pretty easy. I'm just going to give you some clues and in the chat, you can let me know what player you think it is. Should we do this, chat? Okay. Let's just start really simple. Oh, but in the meantime, let me know if you guys want to do that. Let's look at this beautiful new piece. What do you guys think about this? I think it adds so much brightness to this area. Like when I walked in for the first time and saw this, it looked like a completely different space. You guys like it? Very bright. I'm telling you, especially with the natural lighting, just hitting it. So cute. It makes me want to go to Disney, honestly. So nostalgic. Yes. Okay, guys. Should we maybe look for someone to play a game with? Let's see. I know the fans are still rolling in. It is still really early, but in the meantime, should we just play that game ourselves? Let's do it. Because you guys want to play in the chat. Okay. Once again, if you just joined, make sure to follow, and we are playing a game. So it's called Guess That Player. And I'm just going to give you some hints, and you put in the chat who you think it is. Clue number 1, he is the Magic's #1 overall draft pick from 2022. Clue number 2, he was Rookie of the Year in his 2022 to 2023 season. And clue number 3, he wears the number 5. Who do we think this is? Let's see who's gonna get it first. Oh, someone got it. Yes, it is Paulo. Good job, guys. I went easy on you with that one. I feel like everybody on the stream should know that. Yes. Should I do another one really quickly? This one's gonna be, I'll only give you two clues, guys. Let's see who the real Magic fans are. Let's see. All right, so chat, you ready? You guys are ready. All right, clue number 1. He is one of the best defenders. This kind of gives it away already, guys. Clue number 2. Actually, I'll give you 3 clues. I'll be nice. He's been with the team since 2017. 2017. I don't know why I say, I feel like 20 is just in my mind now because that's all I say with the year that we're in now. And clue number 3, he wears the number 1 and he blocks everything. Chat, who's gonna get it first? Yes, it is Jonathan Isaac. Here's a little virtual high five for the people who got it first. You guys are awesome. Yes. So good. Should we go try to find some fans maybe? Back at the team shop, my favorite place. Let's go. Because everybody was coming in, and I feel like we just need to challenge some fans to a game. you know? Should I play that game with them, chat, or should I switch it up? Let's see. I don't know. I think we might switch it up. I'm reading all the comments. I'm also switching from each platform. We are live on multiple platforms right now, so hit that follow button. Really simple, really easy, guys. Yes. I think, oh, you guys want to see Would You Rather. That's my favorite. That game, that is classic. I actually have a Would You Rather question for you guys. Would you rather have courtside seats for one game or season tickets in the upper bowl? But like you're there for like every game. What would you do? I think I would just do the season tickets because I want to see every game. Let's see what you guys are saying. Ooh, someone said courtside. It is a completely, like, it looks like such a fun experience to be courtside. So I get that. Yes. Season tickets. Even though you're in the upper bowl. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta be here for every game, guys. Yes. Would you guys rather play with Jalen Suggs or Paulo? Ooh, we got a little bit of both on that one. Yeah. And who's coming to the game tonight, guys? Who's excited? Ooh, can you go into the shoot around, guys? We might go in there a little bit later, so stay tuned. We have a lot of fun stuff coming up in this live. Who would want to see that? And who would you want to see warming up and getting ready on the court? But yeah, if you're wondering where I am, we are at the Kia Center. Super cool, chat. I think we're gonna make our way over to Coach right now. So let's just journey on over there. I'm gonna read some of your comments and just see what's up, what's the vibe for tonight, what you guys are thinking. Let's see. Yeah, you guys really liked the just seasonal tickets. I get that. You want to be here for every game. That's the spirit. I love that. So cool. Ooh, you guys would love to see Goga shooting around. Yeah. I got to see, I think we were live when he was shooting around and he was just dunking and it was so cool to see that energy. But like I said, we are making our way over to Coach right now. So let's go. Who's excited to see Coach?
No, go ahead, Dan. Go ahead, Dan. Coach, you're blessed with one game before entering your first back-to-back. As a team, how do you prepare for those type of things, knowing early in the season you'll be playing, 2 games in 2 nights?
I think it's a great thing. It gets you prepared for what the season's, how it's coming up. You can't avoid the back-to-backs, but you take care of the first night. That's all you do. You do what you need to do to take care of the first game at home.
Jalen played 17 minutes, mostly 2 to 3 minutes.
16:30.
Jalen played 16 minutes and 30 seconds the other night, mostly 2 to 3 minute stints. Like, what did you notice about what he was able to do in those minutes? Obviously, we saw the energy and stuff, but how do you think he handled that as best he could?
I really think his energy was great. He had a demeanor about him that was controlling the floor, making plays, being able to be out there with his guys. I thought was really good. Those short bursts, will help him in a lot of ways. Just being able to settle himself down, as well as when he goes to the bench, you can analyze the game even more. But again, it'll be that for quite some time. But just being able to have him out there is a great thing.
Just kind of on that, how long do you anticipate him kind of being in these kind of shorter spurts, and then how do you begin to ramp him up? Obviously, it's a long season. He's still kind of working his way back, kind of getting back into playing shape. So playing shape without a training camp. But how do you begin to ramp him up or test him when you need to test him?
Well, you just said it. It's a long season, and we're always going to be conscious of that, and how we come about it and how he responds to each game is going to be very important. So we'll just keep monitoring that as the season goes along.
now that you've had some time to review Wednesday's game, what are some of the things that stick out that you'd like to see improve or kind of get better at tonight?
You know, it's going to be a constant, and it's another challenge for us tonight is, you know, defending without fouling, using our aggression the right way. I love the way we push the basketball, the pace. I know it slowed down in the later part of the game, but us just continue to push the basketball, getting up and down the court, trusting the pass, sharing the ball. I thought we did a really good job there. Our guys are just continuing to trust and continue to work. But, again, I think the defense, as the game went on, you know, we continue to settle down a little bit more.
Atlanta's got Porzingis after the offseason. What does that challenge bring to this Atlanta team that's, you know, pretty, you know, just wide across the board, pretty stout offensively?
Well, you know, coaching them and then having him play them in Boston in those series, just spacing the floor, another threat, you know, offensively, being able to knock down shots, but also a guy that knows how to draw fouls. And so being able to defend him, you know, without fouling along with Trey, and those guys are, you know, it's a tough matchup, that combination.
Coach, one game sample size, but what did you see from Desmond Bane fitting in with Franz and Paolo? How'd you kind of see how that went, and you know, some positives and some things that might need to be cleaned up in those three?
You know, you look at a lot of the games throughout the league, and a lot of teams are trying to find that flow and that chemistry, you know, similar with us, you know, just trying to find the rhythm of the guys playing together in different stints and different combinations, and that's why throughout training camp we do that often. But I think that chemistry with that group is flowing pretty good. They communicate well with one another. They play off of each other. They've talked about the things that they like and see on the floor, and I think it's only going to continue to get better.
Caleb Houston signed a 2A with Atlanta recently. Just what do you remember about his time here? And for a guy to leave the team and still end up in the league, what does that mean to you?
Because he's good enough to be in this league. I've said it time and time again, he's one of the hardest workers I've ever seen and been around. You tell him to stay out of the gym, he comes back to the gym. You know, he's probably driving those guys crazy over there because it's all hours of the night that he wants to come back. One of the hardest workers and a great human being, great kid. Loved the time that he was here with us and what he represented for us and who he is as a young man.
Coach, you scored 25 points off turnovers and 18 on second chance points last night. How do you make those hustle plays a core part of this team identity where you're able to not only talk about it in training camp, like you said, but execute it every single regular season game?
You know, just continue to show the film on it, emphasize that's the positive of what we do. It's our identity and who we are, and we've known that our defense creates our offense in so many ways, and being able to do it in a smart variation. So I think that's what's going to be good for us.
Jamal, you touched on a little over here. You touched on it a little bit about having Kristaps with Luka. How is it going to be different for Kristaps with Trey, at least from a perspective of trying to defend them, and also maybe obviously what you know about Kristaps?
You know, I think he's a difficult guard. He's a difficult coverage. His ability to space the floor, but then being able to put the ball on the ground to get to the basket, you know, drawing fouls. You've got to have the right matchups with, you know, your center as well as your guard play, because there's going to be times you're going to need to switch, and he can find a way to punish that switch. And if you don't switch, Trey's so good at manipulating the defense, his ability to get downhill. So he creates a major problem, you know, for them, for most opponents, if you don't have the proper matchup for him.
Jamal, the gambling allegations that came up yesterday, have you addressed the team about that? Has there been anything said to the players or from the organization to address that?
Yeah, before the year even starts, you know, we address the team right away, talking about all the things that go on. The league sends memos, they send notes, you know, that we watch videos about what their things are that are, you know, rules and regulations of the gambling and the betting. And we've done that with our team. And, you know, yesterday was another reminder of what we have to do. And we had another conversation with the group. And I think that the more it is going on, the more we have to continue to talk to the group about the things that are happening. And the league does a great job of making sure that we communicate that with our guys and our organization.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
like Thriller, Michael Jackson, and we get to be zombies and dress up like that. Yeah.
Wow. Is your first year doing it or
Second.
Second. Super. You can sit right there. We're gonna go once, and you guys both in the shot. Okay. So right here is good. Right there's good. And then Marley, just like I said, just talk to Josh about what he saw in there.
Okay.
Josh, you can just right.
Yeah.
Go on. Yeah. Kill as much time as you can.
Okay. No problem. I'll try my best.
You good? Josh, flip your or hide it if you can. Yeah.
You want me to just take it off?
That'll work. But just, yeah. Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, I had just take it off right now.
You pronounce your last name Cohen?
Cohen, yeah.
And are you guys good?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You guys good? All right, we're good. We're good whenever you are. Okay. You guys had it. All right. Let me know.
All right, guys, I am here with Josh Cohen, and he just sat in the interview room and heard all of the insight that Coach Mo had to give. So can you just tell us a little bit about that? What did he say? Just everything. We want to know.
Sure. Obviously playing the Hawks tonight, so some of the principles that they want to apply in today's game. I think the biggest key certainly is getting out and running against this team. The Hawks give up a lot of transition points, they give up a lot of points in the paint, so it's going to be key for the Magic to get out and run like they did against Miami on opening night, and that'll help generate some effective offense. But yeah, they were just he was just talking about different principles of the team, things that they want to apply for the entire year, not just tonight. Things like, forcing turnovers on opponents. That's always a key for this team. They do that at a really high level, especially with Jalen Suggs back. He's one of the best at that. So other guys too, Anthony Black, Franz Wagner, very good on the ball pressure defenders. So that's going to be key for tonight and really the whole season.
Awesome. Yeah, super excited that Suggs is back. Is there any players that you're keeping a really special eye on this season that maybe you didn't pay attention to last season, or just someone that's piquing your interest?
Yeah, I think you always want to see growth from every player. And obviously we know plenty about Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero. I will say with Franz, I think he, even though he's already quote-unquote all-star level, before his injury last year, he was obviously going to be an all-star. I think he has another gear in him to take another big step. We saw it at Eurobasket this past summer. He's added some pieces to his game that I think will make him a more all-around player. Getting to the free throw line is big. Obviously improving the three-point shot, that was his biggest weakness last year. But I think what he doesn't get enough credit for is all that he does defensively. He plays on the ball good defense. He plays off the ball good defense. He's now stronger. We can guard in the post. So there's a lot of different components to his defensive game that I think gets ignored big picture. So he is someone to continue to keep an eye on. And I would say the other guy, Anthony Black, I think AB still has a lot of opportunity to add a lot of pieces to his game. I think the corner three-point shooting, something that he's been getting better at each year he's been in the league, I think will be taken to another level this year. He's become a very proficient corner three-point shooter, which is critical for this team with the amount of times he's going to get opportunities in the corner when Paolo, Franz, and Desmond Bane get in the paint and spray the ball out.
Love that. Yeah, I know that the season just started, but the energy that they're all bringing, especially Franz, he was shooting threes the Miami game, and the energy is just very, very powerful this season, and I am loving it. How do you feel about the team's chemistry this year? Is there anything different that you noticed from other seasons? What's the vibe?
I think the benefit this team has is that the main core, with the exception of Desmond Bane, have been together for a pretty long time now. Paolo and Franz have now been together for a few years. Wendell Carter came in 2021, so he's been in this organization for a while. Obviously, Jalen Suggs came in with Franz in 2021, Paolo the year after in 2022. So here we are in 2025 going into 26. These guys have been together for a while, so usually when guys have hung together the way that they have, the chemistry really starts to build. And I think we're seeing that. Also, the same coach this whole time too, which is always a factor. Not every team can say that. So Coach Mosley has been with the team since 2021. So they've all kind of banded together throughout this whole time. Now it's about making sure guys like Desmond Bane, Tyus Jones, Jace Richardson, and Noah Penda, the newcomers, can gel with those guys.
Yeah, great insight. I love that. What was your favorite moment from last game?
I think it was the Jalen steal with about 3 minutes left that led to his breakaway layup. Now, Orlando was trailing by 3 at the time. They cut it to 1 with the layup. The energy in the building at that moment really electrified. I think that was the moment where you really felt like, I think the Magic are going to win this game, just because the energy in the building was so intense. Jalen got the crowd going. The bench was erupting. And from that point on, the Magic had momentum. So I would say that was my favorite and most memorable moment of the game.
Love that. Yes, very, very cool to see. And what do you think that it's going to take for the Magic tonight to win against the Hawks?
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, the Hawks struggled to guard the interior. They didn't do a very good job against Toronto in their last game. They gave up 44 shots within 5 feet of the hoop. That's a really high number. So I really think making sure you get it to the paint, score at the basket, that's going to be the biggest focus.
All right, great insight. It was a pleasure talking to you. All right. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you soon. Thank you. All right, chat, what did we think about that? That was awesome, right? Yes, let's see what you guys are saying. Amazing insight. Yes. Awesome. Yeah, I love speaking to him. That was great. And I'm very, very excited to see Franz this year. I know he's just going to keep flourishing and flourishing. Yes. So cool, guys. Okay. All right. Well, I think. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yep. You guys are really excited for AB this year. Me too. Me too. It's going to be great, guys. Who are you most excited to see and just hopefully have a breakthrough season this year? All right, guys. Well, while you answer that, I am going to take a little break, but thank you so much for tuning in. Stay tuned because there's a lot more, and make sure to follow.
What up, Magic fans? Jake Chapman here with you. We're getting set for game number 2, and I'm not sure if we'll be able to live up to opening night, but we sure as heck are going to try. The Atlanta Hawks in tonight, another divisional opponent. My name is Jake Chapman. I'm the radio play-by-play voice of the Orlando Magic, and we're up here on the radio deck, and we're expecting another electric atmosphere here at Kia Center tonight, second of a 3-game homestand to open up the season. And what can you say about Wednesday night? It was special from the opening tap, and Jalen Suggs made his return, played, 16, 17 minutes, finished the night with 14 points on 6 of 7 shooting, 17 minutes played. We weren't sure on Monday morning if Jalen was going to be available for opening night. He was available. He talked, not all summer, but throughout the summer at times, about trying to protect himself a little bit more. We know how Jalen, the guy burns hot. He is like the spirit animal of this team, the heart and soul. Goga Batadze called him this morning at shoot-around. And Jalen, you had a sense that he thought he was going to be able to kind of alter his motor on the floor, and then he had 2 personal fouls within the first minute and 3 seconds of the game on Wednesday night. With that said, he also had a handful of breakneck defensive plays, deflections, tips, hitting the deck for loose balls, Jalen things. And he was right in the midst of everything in the fourth quarter. His defense was one of the difference makers over the course of the night, and then he made a big bucket late. So it was awesome to have Jalen back. You don't need any extra juice on opening night. You don't need any extra juice the 2 nights the Miami Heat are in. So Wednesday was absolutely spectacular, and I'm an Ohio State Buckeye. I know there are not a lot of Buckeye fans here. I know there's not a lot of Urban Meyer fans here, but my favorite Urban Meyer quote, whenever the Buckeyes would win week 1, he says, "What's the best thing about going 1-0? The chance to go 2-0, and that is what we are looking at here tonight with Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks here in the building. First of 4 matchups, of course, with Atlanta. The Magic were 12-4 against the Southeast Division last year, and granted, part of that was 8 wins against Washington and Charlotte combined. We split with the Atlanta Hawks and with the Miami Heat. But make no mistake about it, 2 straight division titles, that is the first goal for this Magic team. And you got to get through Atlanta and Miami, more likely than not, the other 2 favorites to win the Southeast Division title this year in order to do that. So these are big games. I don't care it's game number 2. I don't care we're 1-0, they're 0-1. Every time you play the Atlantas and the Miamis in your division foes, there's a little something extra on the line, because far too many times over the course of the last couple of years, has it gotten down to the end of the season and you're 2 games up, 2 games down against Miami or Atlanta, and then it goes up to a tiebreaker. Keep stacking wins against your division opponents, and everything else will take care of itself, I think. We're getting a look here at Jalen Suggs getting his warm-up on. Not exactly positive what the minutes will look like tonight, and I don't know if we'll see him tomorrow. I would think as he's working back from that knee surgery and that knee injury, that more likely than not, back-to-back's not in the picture for now, but he's on the floor. He's warming up. He will be available here tonight. That's all you really need to know as far as that goes. Hit me up here in the chat. I'm checking out all of these comments. Well, J.I. can't miss it. The shoot-around, I see. Let's go with J.I. because Jonathan Isaac played 7 minutes the other night, and I think, and a lot of people kind of read into that, he was just 0 for 1 from the field. Obviously, you can't do much in 7 minutes. Look, if you have a 10-man rotation, somebody's going to be on the short end of the stick, and I always like to say, Jamal Mosley, he dances with who brung him. And the other night, it wasn't necessarily Jonathan Isaac who brung him into the fourth quarter and brought the Magic back. It was members of the bench bunch. Tristan Da Silva was fantastic. Goga Batadze had great minutes. I think J.I. was just kind of the odd man out the other night. But make no mistake about it, Jonathan Isaac going to play a huge role early and often this season. And this might be a good matchup for him here tonight against the Atlanta Hawks. JP Blazer says, Jake, great to hear you. JP Blazer, great to read you. Jay Kerr, Big Jake back in the building. I'm here, and we are ready to go. Let's see. Buckin said, this is Gator country. Lots of Urban Meyer fans here. Yeah, but I always get confused because it feels like half the Gators fans are mad about Urban and the way he left and all the arrests and all of that stuff. So just thank the guy for the national championships and don't worry about all of the restrictions he left on the program when he went ahead and left. Okay, this is Magic programming, not Ohio State Buckeye programming, so I will get back in line. Let's talk about keys for tonight because, look, I don't know if you guys noticed, but Atlanta got smoked on opening night. They lost 138-118 to the Toronto Raptors, and Toronto just ran them off the floor, essentially. They had 34 fast break points, which is a massive number. And we've heard all preseason, and you saw it against Miami on opening night. The Magic are trying to go, go, go. They want to be a much faster and crisper basketball team, especially on the offensive end, even off makes. They're pushing pace, trying to get up and into their stuff much earlier than they did last season. I think that was very evident by the 125 that you hung on the Miami Heat the other night. The Magic scored 125 points or more 3 times all of last season, and we're going for number 2 here tonight against this Atlanta team, and it may be doable because, like I said, they gave up 138 to the Toronto Raptors the other night. Defense, not exactly their calling card, hasn't been really since Trae Young's been there, although they were much improved on that end last year, and they made a few moves, ideally, in their minds, to shore up their defense, bringing in Kristaps Porzingis. He's a great floor spacer on the offensive end, but one of the better rim protectors as well in the league. They got another guy, Onyeka Okongwu, who comes off the bench, who's a rim protector in and of himself. And then they got a guy, Dyson Daniels, obviously, who, in my opinion, should have been the Defensive Player of the Year last year. Led the league in steals and deflections by long shots. So you got to be careful with that guy. So my first key tonight is going to be pace, but being smart about the pace. You don't need 34 fast break points in order to win this game, and you sure as heck can't afford 18 to 20 turnovers tonight against this team. Don't make it easy on them. So that's one of the things as we see the Magic try to alter their identity a little bit. We're going to be seeing a lot more of these higher, faster-paced games and higher possession games, and with that, you can't lose the defense. It's been the calling card of this team over the last 3 seasons. I think we saw that a little bit the other night. Jamal Mosley told us this morning he was just happy that the defense improved as the night went on against Miami. You defended when it mattered in the fourth quarter. But as the Magic try to tweak their offense and get out and run more, it can't be at the expense of the defense, and it certainly can't be at the expense of taking care of the basketball. So pace is going to be a key tonight. You want to go and run against this team, but you want to do so in a controlled fashion. You can't turn the ball over. You want to make sure you're getting back on defense. A track meet where we're up and down and Trae Young's leading the break and then we're running back down the other way, I don't know if that's exactly how you want to play this game tonight. I'm not saying it needs to be 90 to 85, but I think you want to be a little bit more in control of the pace of this game because Atlanta is very dangerous. That's the style that they want to play, and so ideally you make them sort of bend to your will here tonight. My second key is rebounding, and here's why. Kristaps Porzingis is out tonight. So is Zachary Rizache. So that means you got 2 7-footers. Well, Rizache is listed at 6'8". That means you got 2 forwards and centers from the starting lineup for the Atlanta Hawks who are going to miss tonight's game. The other matter here is the other night against the Toronto Raptors, Atlanta got out-rebounded 54-34, which is a pretty insane figure. Only grabbed 34 rebounds over the course of a 48-minute NBA basketball game. Rebounding, I think, might be an issue for this team all season long, and that might have to do with pace, and that might have to do with getting back and not trying to get smoked in transition like they did the other night. But without Rizache and without Kristaps Porzingis, just not a lot of depth on that front line tonight for the Atlanta Hawks. So I'm talking Paolo, I'm talking Wendell, and then, of course, off the bench, Goga, J.I. I think those guys can play big roles tonight if they crash the glass. We're always going to be an offensive rebounding team, and especially as we try to get more threes up, there are going to be offensive rebounding opportunities for guys like Wendell, guys like Tristan off the bench, Goga, as I mentioned, crashing the glass and getting some jump points off offensive rebounds could be a big key against this team tonight, especially with the injuries they're dealing with along the front line. My last key is just Trae Young. You just got to figure out a way to limit this guy. With him, typically, it's either scoring or assists. You can afford one of them. Like, if he gives you 30, he gives a lot of teams 30. Don't let him get 15 assists as well. If he's setting his teammates up, finding the hot man, that's fine. Don't let him get 30. Don't let him get to the free throw line a whole bunch of times. I think you can live with one. You can't live with both when you're talking Trae Young. The three-point percentages are what they are for Trae. He's always going to pull a Steph-looking jumper, and you're going to go, how the hell did he make that? But then I think sometimes that's the worst thing that happens as far as Atlanta goes to them. If he falls in love with the logo threes, and he's pulling up the second he crosses half court, we'll live with those. He can have those. He's not Steph Curry. Nobody's Steph Curry, let's be honest. My low-key key of the game tonight is the second unit. This is going to be an interesting matchup because the Hawks, the headline move of the offseason for them was bringing in Kristaps Porzingis, but some of the low-key moves that I think might actually help them even more so when all is said and done were moves to the bench unit. What bringing in Porzingis did was it slid Onyeka Okongwu to the second unit. He's a very good defensive center and a very good backup center as far as standards go across the league. They bring in Luke Kennard, who you may not know this about Luke Kennard. He has the highest active career three-point percentage of any player currently active in the NBA. He has the third highest career three-point percentage of all time. And we're talking about today's NBA, Luke Kennard in his 9th season out of Duke, a career 43.7% three-point shooter. Highest active player, the only 2 players all time with a better career three-point percentage, Steve Kerr and Hubert Davis, believe it or not. And just a little asterisk here, Kennard is tied with the late, great Drazen Petrovic with that 43.7% career three-point percentage. So he's a hot shooter. He's going to space the floor for that second unit. And then Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who they also brought in free agency from Minnesota, is a very good kind of combo off-ball guard within that second unit. He can shoot threes, and he's a very good defender as well. So they have a little more depth and a little more beef along the rotation than they did last year at their disposal, and that's going to make a big difference for them over the course of the season, but it could tonight, because I thought the bench was fantastic against Miami on Wednesday night, namely Tristan da Silva. He had 16 points, made 3 triples, but Goga was fantastic. I liked what I saw from Anthony Black. Scored 7 points, 3 boards, 3 assists. Didn't necessarily leap off the stat sheet at you, but AB I thought was really good on Wednesday. So I think the second unit is going to be an important part of the Magic's attack all season long. Like I said, Jamal is going to go with whoever has the hot hand. And let's see if we can get Tyus Jones on the right track. He was out there for 24 minutes the other night, and he looked comfortable, but it just didn't look like it was necessarily clicking for Tyus. Didn't make a shot. He was trying to get other guys involved. I think Tyus is one of those streaky shooters. Once he starts knocking down a few threes, then look out. But I think the second unit needs to be a big piece of the Magic's attack tonight, specifically Tristan da Silva and Anthony Black. And so that, my low-key key of the game for this evening. Will Dawson's in the house. What's up, Jake? It's Will Dawson. I know it's you, Will. Love you, brother. Missed you the other night and missed you on our stream yesterday. Hope everything is well. Big shout out to Will Dawson, all you guys jumping in. Reminder, you can always check out the broadcast. You can stream us anywhere on planet Earth via Sirius or NBA League Audio Pass. If you're within 75 miles of downtown Orlando, you can stream us on the Orlando Magic app or on the iHeartRadio app. And then we're always on the Orlando Magic Audio Network as far as the radio side goes, our flagship station here in Central Florida, 96.9 The Game. Checking out some of the comments here in the chat. I had a thought for the folks in the chat. Is Trae Young the most villainous player for Magic fans? Is he the one that ruffles your feathers, gets under your skin the most? Because we had Miami in the other night, and I'm pretty sure they are the most villainous, treacherous team as far as Magic fans go. But Trae Young is, unless you're an Atlanta Hawks fan, he is like public enemy number one for several fan bases across the league. We get to see them 4 times a year. We play well against the Atlanta Hawks. I kind of dig it. I like, I grew up a pro wrestling fan, so I like when a guy plays to the crowd and is able to shut up 20,000 people. Not these 20,000 people, obviously, but if he's doing it in New York and getting everybody all fired up, that's funny to me. I enjoy that. It's good entertainment. But when he comes into this building, I know all 20,000 Magic fans here want him to go 0 for 30 tonight and shut the bleep up. And that's pretty much what Magic fans think of Trae Young, and that's what several fan bases think of Trae Young. But I kind of go through, these days there's just not a ton of rivalries really across the league. We're trying to stoke that back up. I think certainly Miami and Atlanta are 2 of our closest things to a rivalry. But I just wonder, like most hated or least liked opposing player as far as Magic fans go, I got to think Trae Young, at the very least, is on the most despised Rushmore as far as Magic fans go. That's just my educated guess. One more reminder: make sure you stream us tonight. Check out the broadcast however you can. NBA League Audio Pass anywhere on planet Earth. Sirius XM as well. Orlando Magic Audio Network within 75 miles of Central Florida. You can stream us on the Orlando Magic app, the iHeartRadio app as well. That's going to do it for me. Magic and the Atlanta Hawks coming your way. Hope you guys have a good night. Hopefully we get a dub tonight. We'll be back at it again tomorrow. Back-to-back, wrap up the homestand, and then it's out on the road. Jake Chapman here with you up on the radio deck. We'll send it back down to the floor.
Stress levels are coming down a little bit. Aperture up a little bit. Turn the aperture up a little bit. Aperture, yeah. I got you. It's on its way. It's on its way. 100, Dan. So it's not a hard 6 o'clock, huh? So the thing is the audio people that usually give us the mics didn't have the mics in the right spot, and there's nobody down there, so I don't know what mic to grab off of. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we're
Welcome to Courtside Countdown, presented by Hard Rock Bet. I am Dan Savage, and as you may notice, Kendra Douglas is not here today. That'll happen periodically throughout the season, and when she's not, we will be joined by a special guest, West 2's Kristen Lago. Kristen, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much for calling me special today. You really made my day, Dan. No, I'm so excited to be here. It's kind of a new thing for me to get to interact with Magic fans in this new way. I think what you guys do on Courtside Countdown is so fun, engaging with the fan base in an organic way and in real time. So comments, maybe not concerns because it's still early in the season, but questions, I want to hear them all. So bring it on.
Yeah, and it'll be a great matchup between your Orlando Magic and the Atlanta Hawks. And make sure you tune into that on FanDuel Sports Network as David Steele, Jeff Turner, and the gang get you going with all the coverage. But before that, we have you covered. So, Kristen, if you want to get to some of the questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them.
I think before we get to the questions, so many of them were about Wednesday's game and a wild Wednesday night. We were both here for the season opener against the Miami Heat, a 4-point win for the Orlando Magic. I want to get you straight to the highlights so we can kind of recap that and then bring on the questions from that game. So this one, I mean, the energy was in the house here at the Kia Center. You can see kind of the stat line right there. 4-point win in crunch time for the Orlando Magic on Wednesday night.
No, it was a great job throughout. That guy pictured right there, Jalen Suggs, matched the energy of this crowd. He brought it. He got them excited. And it was a great job down the stretch of remaining composed and coming away with a hard-fought win over their Southeast Division rival.
And you know what? You talk about Jalen Suggs. I mean, what he brought to the floor, even in short stints, 2 to 3 minute stints, we saw him play just under 17 minutes. But getting him to interact with the crowd again, the hustle plays, the heart and soul of this team, I thought that was one of the most fun storylines to follow throughout the night.
You know, when you look at Jalen Suggs, his 2 to 3 minute stints can feel so much more impactful because of the presence he brings. You notice him every second he's out there. So he's a guy in short stints who could have as big an impact as other players have in much longer stretches.
Another player that was brought up a couple times in the comments so far, Tristan Da Silva. We kind of saw him make a huge leap in that season opener on Wednesday night, 16 points off the bench. Coach Mosley was saying post-game that he's stepping into his shots with more confidence. What did you make of his performance?
You know, we've seen this throughout NBA history that players who play in Eurobasket have long, successful runs, often carry that success over into the NBA season, and I think that's exactly what's happened with Tristan Da Silva. He was part of that Germany team along with Franz Wagner and Magic assistant coach Randy Gregory that had a tremendous gold medal run, and his confidence from that, his physicality is showing, and he's becoming one of the best relocation shooters in the NBA, especially for a player of his size.
Yeah, and one more player I keep seeing over and over again. They're talking about Desmond Bane, who is just warming up here behind us. What do you make of the core four now with Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero, Jalen Suggs, and Desmond Bane all out on the floor together?
Yeah, you talk about NBA history. We see often with some of these major trades and additions, it takes guys a while to integrate in, but he's a guy built with Magic DNA. We saw him with that loose ball late in the game, dive on the floor, grab it, come up with it, scream, "That's my ball." And that's the type of Magic DNA that he has, and I think makes him integrate in so well. And then on top of that, what have the Magic needed the past couple seasons? Outside shooting. And I think what Payne brings is not only that outside shooting, but when they close out and contest, he could also put the ball on the floor. And we saw him take advantage of hard closeouts a few times last night and come up with some big plays.
We talked about a couple positives. I know we have some. Oh, look at that guy right there, Paolo Banchero. Before we get to maybe shoot-around sound from this morning, I mean, obviously so much attention goes to Paolo day in and day out. He was double-teamed so many times on Wednesday night. But what does having Desmond Bane maybe and Jalen Suggs do to create space for a player like Paolo?
No, that's an excellent point, Kristen, because having those guys does create space for them to operate. And we saw when the Heat really tried to take Paolo away and send double teams, he was not able to give spray-out passes, find extra options. And it's going to even be tougher for this Hawks team to defend him because you look at a Heat team, they have a number of long, athletic, big defenders. The Heat on the other time have to, the Hawks at other times have to hide Trae Young on defense. And so it's going to be hard for them to send doubles, but when they do, Paolo now has the guys to take the pressure off him and spray out to and really cause double teams to pay.
All right, we talked a little bit about Wednesday night season opener. A lot of positives for this Magic team, but as you'll hear from shoot-around sound earlier this morning from Coach Mosley and the guys, still some areas to improve upon as we get to Game 2 here tonight.
I thought there was a lot of good. You go back and you give Miami a ton of credit for, one, how hard they play, how much they mix up the defense, the physicality. I think our guys handled it well. Their ability to stay poised in moments. We were able to get out in transition, which we've talked about, being able to play faster, the quicker decisions, us sharing the basketball. I think those were all positives from our game.
I mean, it was a tough game. Heat made a lot of shots in the first half, so just us staying together. Keep trusting each other and just figuring out. We talked about, it's hard to win an NBA game, and we did that, and we're gonna need to. There's gonna be some days that it's not gonna go our way. We gotta find some way. So we did that. So we just gotta keep building on that, and just gotta be better today for sure.
Showed a good character of the group. Sticking with it. Playing fast. I feel like there's still a little bit of a playing style that everybody's getting used to. But I feel like we did a great job executing that. And now we just gotta kind of put two playing styles together, which is the defensive identity that we've been having these last couple of years, and still being able to play fast and
That was from Shoot Around this morning. Of course, the Magic getting set to take on the Atlanta Hawks tonight. But we want to get to some of your comments. That is the point of Courtside Countdown. So one of them, I love this one. It says, all we need is Mo Wagner, and this team can beat anyone this season. Obviously, Mo's still rehabbing through his ACL tear from last year. But what have you seen from him sort of at practice? I know you're around the team each and every day. What's his progress looking like?
It was funny. I was watching NBA TV this morning, and Robin Lopez, former teammate of Mo Wagner here in Orlando, was listing his best intangible teammates, and he had Mo Wagner on that list. And I think his presence can't be understated.
Yeah.
He is a guy who brings the energy. It can be a coach on the sidelines, giving guys pointers with things he sees. I think he's really developed in that regard. And then when he's back on the floor, such a scoring punch off the bench. Instant energy, and over the course of an 82-game season in those dog days, that can mean everything. That can be the difference of the game. And I don't think it went unnoticed to him. The crowd reaction that he received
Oh my goodness, yes.
from the Kia Center
It
fans.
was crazy loud in here.
Oh
yeah.
my goodness. For a guy that's rehabbing, getting into that final stages where it's really a grind every day, you already want to be out there and be with your teammates. That meant the world to him. So that was special to see. Very happy to see that kind of fan reaction from Mo.
Yeah, that was special. It was a really cool moment inside the arena. Okay, some other comments for you. I like this one. Did anyone else cry tears of joy watching Desmond Bane knock down threes? Did you cry?
I didn't cry, but I was like, boy, that was nice. That was nice to see. Whether it was his step back three game, whether it was him putting the ball on the floor when people closed out hard to him, he scores in a dynamic number of ways, and he's a great playmaker too. So I think having an additional guy that could bring the ball up the floor when teams start to pressure and try to take Paolo or Franz away is so valuable to have. And when you're the Magic now, you have four guys who could all play make, along with Wendell Carter Jr. in your starting lineup. That is tough to take away, and that's going to be one of the interesting things that I'm watching tonight is where are the Hawks going to put Trae Young?
Okay.
Where is he going to cover? Because that's a matchup the Magic might try to take advantage of, get the Hawks star player in foul trouble. So those are the things I'll be paying attention to early in this one.
I think that's a good segue because one of the comments here says, we shut down Trae in the play-in last year. He's going to want revenge coming in tonight. So what do you make of sort of Trae Young coming in this season, a little bit of a different team around him, but maybe wanting some revenge against a division rival?
No, that's an excellent point because Trae is petty. He remembers those things. And so you're sure they know this is the team that knocked him out. On top of that, they did not have the season that debut they wanted at home against the Toronto Raptors. So they're going to be feeding off all that and trying to come out with their hairs on fire against this Orlando Magic team and try to give some payback for that play-in. So that's an excellent point.
What about just Trae Young as a whole? I mean, what type of problems does he cause for a defense?
Yeah, he could really punish you in two ways because, one, we know he could score from the Geico parking lot out there. He has the ability to stretch the floor with range. On top of that, he can also pass and play make and create opportunities for others. We've seen him be among the NBA assist leaders year after year. So we have to really do with a guy like that is all five guys have to defend as one. You have to stay true to your men. You can't overhelp because that's when he starts not only making shots but getting teammates involved in then you're getting beat on both ends. So you have to be really disciplined in your defensive coverages, and that's what I expect out of the Magic tonight.
So Trae Young really the engine that makes this Hawks offense go, but another guy that was pretty impressive in their season opener despite the loss, Jalen Johnson, coming back from injury. I mean, he's a key piece of that offense as well, right?
No, when you talk to opposing scouts, as I like to do, and hear what they're thinking of teams as they come through, he's a guy I often ask about, and a lot of people think he could be the Hawks' best player as time goes on because he's a dynamic scorer, he can help on both ends, and so he's a guy the Magic are going to have to pay attention to that they didn't have to worry about in that play-in game.
Would you say he's sort of like a Swiss Army knife for this team?
No, definitely, and they have a number of those guys throughout their lineup. With Porzingis out, they're going to, rely more on Okongwu. He's a guy who could be effective on the interior, started a number of games for them last season. And on top of that, Dyson Daniels can be a really good defender. He was in a bit of foul trouble against the Raptors early on in that one. Part of the reason why they were able to get out and run so much and score offensively, the Magic may not have that luxury tonight, so they're going to have to be sound on both ends.
So you mentioned being sound on both ends. A couple of the comments were about the defense from the season opener. I know, obviously, it's game one, so it's still settling in, and the Magic obviously pushing the pace offensively. The defense can catch up. But tonight, how important will the Magic defense be?
Well, I think one thing that probably caught the Magic a little bit by surprise playing against the Heat was how much they pushed the pace. Normally, these Magic Heat matchups are slugfests, where they're battling in the half court, really trying to work through offensive sets. Both teams now were playing with pace, so it did not look like your grandfather or father's version of Magic Heat.
It's a new era.
Yeah. Now with the Hawks, on the other hand, you know they're going to want to play fast. You know they're going to want to play an offensive game. So I expect the Magic to be ready from the jump tonight.
So when you're looking at this matchup, what's a key matchup maybe the fans should be looking at, player on player? Who's catching your eye?
I'm really going to be looking at Jalen Suggs, Anthony Black, defending Trae Young. If they could do the type of job that the team did in the play-in game, the Magic will be up for a good, successful night. On top of that, as a team, I want to see the Magic play fast like they did in the opener, but limit turnovers, and then on the defensive end, really get back in transition defense and defend without fouling. That can be key. And as we all know, as up on the screen, Desmond Bane can have a big impact for this team. He could go three-point shot for three-point shot with Trae Young, and that's a nice X factor the Magic haven't had in a long time.
It's funny when we look at Desmond Bane. When I was talking to Jalen Suggs about the acquisition of Bane during the offseason, he said they're both true dogs. That's the word he liked to use, and he said we're going to be really scary together. What do you sort of make of the energy that both of these guys have, the toughness? Like, how scary is that to an opposing team?
It's a great point. It's wild. We saw down the stretch of the Heat game, both of those guys fire up the crowd with different big plays, whether it was Desmond diving on the floor, Jalen coming up and picking off a pass, taking it the full way for a score, and a nice post-up move. They're both guys that'll get the crowd involved, and I think having that type of dynamic backcourt duo that can both bring the ball up the floor, extend the floor with the three-point shot, space the floor for Paolo and Franz, those are valuable additions, and it's why this Magic team is one of the teams favored to win the East this year.
Well, to that point, one of the comments, these guys stay hungry even after a win. When you listen to whether it was Paolo, Franz, or Desmond in the postgame after the Heat game, sort of what did you make of that regard? Like, they weren't satisfied.
No question. The first thing was not like, oh, we pulled off this great win. It was, we expect it to be better and actually win by more. So I just think that's a different mindset. They're very level. I don't think you're going to see this team get too high, too low after wins and losses this season. It's going to be focused on the process of how do we get better day by day, game by game. And I think the first thing they did after that loss, or after that win, was look at the game almost like a loss. Was where do we get better? And they looked at their transition defense, defending without fouling, and hoping for an even more decisive win here tonight as they play the Atlanta Hawks.
And when you think about the upcoming schedule for the Orlando Magic, this is the first of a back-to-back. So how does that factor into it before they and then go on this long road trip where they're gone for, 9-10 days?
Yeah, boy, the NBA did the Magic a real favor by giving them one whole game before getting in their first back-to-back. And then you look at that schedule, and there's some tough teams. One, Chicago Bulls, we always know that with Nikola Vucevic coming back to town, he's going to want to have game. And whether it's Tyrese Maxey or
Tyrese Magic.
Tyrese Maxey or VJ Edgecombe, they've got some dynamic scorers there in Philadelphia who could fill up in the bucket. And when you look at good matchups this season, I think Cade Cunningham and the Detroit Pistons are going to be a team on the ascension. The Magic are going to have to establish themselves as in a different tier, and what a better way to do that than by beating them on their home floor later this week.
And before we sort of wrap up this edition of the show, I want to remind fans just how important this game really is. I know it's only game 2, but because it is another Southeast Division rival, what could this game mean maybe 50 games from now? As we saw at the end of the last season, it could mean the difference between hosting a game or being on the road. And the first path to having home court in the playoffs is winning your division. I know it's not set up the same way it used to be, but still, if you want to host in the home court, you have to win your division. And I think the best way to do that is with beating the Heat and then getting a win over the Hawks. That's a nice way to start it off. 2-0 in the Southeast Division, sign me up. Oh yeah, and this last comment says the Magic might win all the games. So how fun would that be? The Magic might win all the games? I love the positivity. Thank you. Bring that positivity in here.
Absolutely. Go all 82-0, and or at the very least, just consistently defend home court like Goga Batase was alluding to and shoot around today.
Oh, I had a Goga comment too. So Goga, they're shouting you out too in the comments. They like what you're doing out here, so keep it going.
No, absolutely. And remember, today's show is presented by Hard Rock Bet, and we're going to ask you to continue to pay attention watching on a FanDuel Sports Network. They have a great show ahead for you, a good Dante's moment. Jeff and David always breaking down all the action, and I know Coach Hill with Coach's Clipboard has a few good things up his sleeve to really look at the Magic's home opener and some of the things they did with Desmond Bane. So great to hear from Coach Hill.
Yeah, I know I always look forward to their pregame show and their coverage on FanDuel Sports Network. Such a good time, and it's going to be fun tonight. I'm excited for this matchup.
I know, and thanks for joining us.
This was fun. You made it easy on me, so thank you. I appreciate it. Hopefully the next one goes just as smoothly.
Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time here on Courtside Countdown, presented by Hard Rock Bet. You only have to miss us for not a single day because we'll
just one
back
sleep.
Yeah, one sleep, and we'll be back here tomorrow.